Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were up about 0.5% on the back of upbeat economic data and a reassurance coming out from Ben Bernanke that the highly accommodative monetary policy is likely to continue till there is some amount of stability in the job market, until they achieve their overall objectives of the job market as well as the overall economic growth. Also, we had good data points coming out from the job market, wherein the jobless claims fell by almost about 34,000 to about 3,34,000 odd, and also there was a revision in the rating for the US and it has been placed at stable. European markets too were up about 1 to 1.5%, and when we look at the Asian markets today morning, there is a mixed picture. Nikkei started off on a positive note, but then it came down almost about 2%, and currently it is down almost about 0.8%. Most of the other Asian markets are marginally down. And talking about the flows, friends, FIs were net sellers in the cash market to the tune of 178 crore. The domestic institutions were biased to the tune of about 240 crore, and in the index futures, the FIs were biased to the tune of about 30 odd crore. Back home, our markets was quite subdued till about 1:32 p.m. and then after the announcement of the numbers by Axis Bank, actually there was a sudden spike in the entire banking and the rate sensitive space, and there was also a buzz in the market that there is a possibility of a SLR cut, but we didn't get anything like that today morning, and overall market closed at a very strong level of almost about 6,050 odd level as far as Nifty future is concerned. On that note, let me invite Sadhna to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning everyone. Let's have a view on derivatives. From past couple of trading sessions, we have seen that markets are continuing to trade very volatile, and yesterday Nifty finally surpassed the psychological mark of 6,000 and closed the session near day's high with a gain of more than 1%. In this period, we have seen market participants have accumulated long positions as around 8.81 lakh shares added in open interest, and Nifty futures have turned into premium of 14 points from the discount of 2 points. And PCR also increased from 1.26 to 1.34. It is indicating put option has added more number of shares than call option, which is clearly visible in the options activity. As we see, 6,000 followed by 5,900 put option has seen a good activity, and 6,100 call option as well as put option has seen a good activity. Overall, our bias for the market is positive as we are trading above our weekly VWAP of 5,900. Our next level would be 6,100, and from intraday perspective, one can go long on power grid with a stop loss of 109.80 paisa. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, the companies which will be announcing numbers. Reliance Industries, we are looking at a net profit of about 5,321 crore, which would be a growth of 19%. What is more important to watch out for is what is the take of the management on the fall in the gas production, which has come down to almost about 15 SCCMD, and also the take on the gas pricing, which has been revised. So these are the two things that the market will be keenly watching out for. Bajaj Auto, the PAT is expected at about 782 crore, and HDFC steady set of number 1244 crore, about 24% kind of a growth. TCS came out with stellar set of numbers on most of the parameters, both on the top line front as well as on the net profit front. The actual numbers were much better than market expectations, and definitely one can expect some upside in TCS stock in today's market. Bajaj Corp is going to do an OFS wherein the floor price has been set at about 200 rupees as against the current market price of 245 rupees. This stock is under our coverage, and investors could actually put in a bid somewhere around 202 to 205 levels. In an important development, the Reserve Bank, which planned to sell bonds worth about 12,000 crore, actually could not sell it, and only 2,500 worth of crore of bonds were sold. And the reason for that is that the investors were looking for a much higher yield given the kind of steps that the RBI has taken in the recent past, and hence RBI rejected most of the bids, and because of that we also saw the bond yields actually coming down from 8.06 to almost about 7.98. So it remains to be seen what kind of steps RBI takes going forward, given the kind of short-term bond yields movement that we have seen in the last about 3 to 4 days. DLF has cut its staff strength by almost about 30%, and they've decided to outsource some of the activities like construction and facility management services. So this is definitely not a positive news for DLF. So one could expect some negative reaction in the DLF stock in today's market. Coming to the stock specific news, BEML has got an order of about 747 crore to manufacture and supply 92 seats of standard gauge metro cars. So one can go long on BEML with a stop loss of 169 and a target of about 178 to about 181. And City Union Finance, Reserve Bank has lifted the restriction on the purchase by the FIIs in this particular stock, and now the FI limit stands at about 74%. So one can go long on City Union Finance with a stop loss of 890 and a target of about 940 to about 960. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday morning.